Let me show you on this video how to manage your orders in Jotform Tables. So follow me to my desktop right now. Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to Jotform. On this video, I'm going to show you how easy it is to manage your orders inside of Jotform Tables. This way you'll have plenty of flexibility to manage these orders. So let's get started. This is my main workspace and I'm going to select the form that I use for the sales that I've made. In this case, I'm going to use this sales form where I have a few sales made already. So let's go ahead and click on more and we're going to go into submissions. Submissions is going to open up Jotform Tables for the sales that I made on this particular form. So in this case, let me go ahead and remove this filter, which is something that I'm going to show you on this video. Now, in this case, I've made several sales already, and I'm able to view the products that were sold really easily and clearly right here. For example, this wedding decor that I've sold, here's the total, here's the payer information, and the transaction ID. Next, I'm going to show you this other order. For example, I sold 6 t-shirts and 1 sweater for a total of $3.99 USD, payer information and transaction ID. So it's really clear to view all the information here from each one of these rows and each one of these columns. So all the available data from the forms will be available in the columns. So we're able to clearly view all the information here on Jotform Tables. Now, a really cool feature here is the actual filter that we have here on Jotform Tables. For example, I can do a quick search with all the details available here or use the filter, which is really practical on all the submissions from all the purchases that were made. And then, for example, on the choose a field, in this case, I'm going to select my products. And if it includes, for example, sweater, I want to filter those out. In this case, I'm able to view all the sales that were made for sweater. So if I have other type of products, they will be cleared out with this filter. So it's practical to have a clear view of the things that you want to view with the filter. Plus, I also have the option to remove columns in case I don't need to view those details. For example, maybe I don't need the submission date, or maybe I do. Maybe I need to view submission IP. Maybe I need to view the submission ID, and those will be shown now. So it's a really practical use case here. So you can remove columns that you don't need to view. Plus, there's also the option to download all, where you can export this in CSV, Excel, or PDF. And aside from that, there's also more views for this situation. For example, in Jotform Tables, you can add a brand new tab here and you can add a different type of view. For example, I can create a table again, for example, connected to form, especially this form that we are using. Let's go ahead and connect. And the reason I'm showing you this because I can have a separate view with other details. For example, maybe I just want to know the name and the products that were purchased. Let's go ahead and create now. Let's view our brand new tab here. And we have a different view. So we can have a table view of all the details available here and a secondary view to only view, for example, the name and the products. That could be a use case. Another one could be, for example, create a new tab. We can create a calendar. For example, you can have a calendar of when the purchases were made, or if this was an appointment system or a selected date to ship out the products, the calendar view is a good option. You have the option to create boards or cards, which is one of my favorites. Card is another way to view the data, but in a really clear way. For example, again, I'm going to connect it to this form. Here we go. In this case, I want to know the name. I don't want to know the products. I want to know the name, the email, and the phone number. Just these 3 details. So let's go ahead and create. And we are now going to have a card view with those details. And it's super easy to view these details because they could be useful for other purposes. Maybe doing a resale or an upsell. But I'm just going to have the details that I need to call someone or email really easily with these details. So instead of viewing every single detail over here, you can have different type of views, even creating reports straight from Jotform Tables. So it is really practical to manage your orders here on Jotform Tables. So what are you waiting for? Create your account here on Jotform, start selling, and manage your orders here on Jotform Tables. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that little bell notification to get notified when new videos come out. And that's a wrap.